You like respect. Sorry. We'll call the meeting to order at 1:01. The town of Smoky Lake respectfully acknowledges that we are situated on Treaty 6 territory, the traditional land of First Nations and Métis people. So I already said this, but we'll call the meeting to order at regular council meeting at 1:01. The adoption of consent agenda. So we'll, Dawn?
Do you want me to do additions first?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
additions.
If I could add 13.1 CN event. See if you want to make it a council approved event, basically. And then can we remove 8.2? That one's been resolved. They withdrew their request.
Okay.
8.2 on the bottom.
Any other additions or deletions? If not, I will go through my list. So 4.1, public hearing. 7.1. 7.4. 8.1. 8.6. And 9.3. Marianne?
So I would like to have 6.1. 7.2. 7.3. Right, and then you said 7.4 was yours.
Yeah.
Sorry. There has to be an easier way for me to do this, but sorry.
No.
And the two that had letters of support, so 9 point, sorry, 11.3. Okay, so 9.1. Personnel policy and just the two that have the letters of support I'd like to add, which is
11.2 and 11.3.
Or was it the 12.1 with the? Principal?
okay, so 12.1 is on my for my consent. So the Ag Society and then the rural stream. Forgive me. Part of my struggle is when we go into the body of the agenda, there's no numbers. So then I flip back and I'm not sure if our software can do something with that.
Unfortunately, it can't. We have to manually go in and change everyone once we're done compiling the agenda.
Well, it seems to be an ongoing struggle, so I'm
Why don't you
wondering.
pull out the whole number and then you can guide through what? Like, because it's all 9.19 or whatever it is.
Oh,
And then we'll just go through it all and we'll just say, no, I
Okay,
don't want that
sure.
letter. So which one is that? 12.1?
So I guess it would be 12.1 correspondence,
And the agricultural complex is 11.3, letter of support. Is that what you meant?
and then the 7.2 is the rural stream.
Right. Yeah, you said that one. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So in 11.3, right?
Yeah.
Agriculture.
But overall, I'm not sure if I'm the only one struggling with the numbers or if we could do something.
Like-
but-
I don't struggle.
The problem I had is when I went online, or when I went in, and I put the numbers on the side. And then you went in to review that. Then you were lost, like if you went through, then it didn't follow.
Do you do this? Like you can do a split screen?
Yeah.
So if you want 11.1, it comes up here.
Okay, no, I didn't do that, I went just that. And I
This here.
changed that one to not the page one, to the other one. Nope, go, yeah, now go to your left where it's highlighted the page,
Yeah.
okay, change that format to. Yeah,
This here.
yeah, and then I tried following that to go to that, but it didn't. Like I can show you here.
Well, you want to do that later?
Yes,
Okay.
let's,
Mel?
No, I'm covered with all that, yeah.
Evan?
Got covered.
Harry?
question in regards to 9.2. Is 9.2 the same as 4.1?
Yes,
Because it's different numbers. It's bylaw 072023 on 4.1 and on 9.2 it's 07-024.
so if you look at 4.1, it's bylaw 072023 land use bylaw.
Yeah.
Public hearing script for agenda,
Oh,
public hearing
yeah.
notice bylaw 07-2024. That's correct.
Because we're doing the amended one will be the 24 and the original one was the 23.
Right? Or is it type?
No, this is the first one.
It's here.
Well, let's just bring it up, 9.2.
Okay,
That's good.
that's good. Okay. Um. Then we'll have, no?
If there's no other additions or deletions, I'll make a motion to adopt the consent agenda. Pulling 4.1, 6.1, 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, 7.4, 8.1. Deleting 8.2, 8.6 added, 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, 11.3, 12.1,
And then of course all.
and all.
All in favor? And opposed, so carried. All right, you'll go to the adoption of previous minutes and action lists. So 3.1, the regular council meeting minutes. Oh, never mind.
I was like,
What am I?
They're done, yeah.
Have it. We're moving on to public hearings. Don't let me say the whole thing next time. All right, so we'll move into the public hearing. So I can just continue on with the script. Dawn, sorry.
Yeah, just read the script, yeah.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Amy Chernichin, Mayor of the Town of Smoky Lake, and I will be the chair of the hearing today. On behalf of council, I'd like to welcome you here. I'd like to take a moment to introduce the councilors in attendance, so I'll just quickly have the councilors run through.
Hi, my name is Marianne Pratsky-Zaruski.
Melody Morton,
Evelyn Copes.
Terry McWaychik.
And the planning advice will be provided by Raman Sahara, the town's development officer. Back. And I declare the public hearing open at 11:09. The ground.
One.
Did I say 11? Yeah, I did. 1:09. Thank you. The ground rules of the hearing and the order of speaking will be: the CAO and the development officer will speak first to outline facts and present their recommendations on the proposed bylaw. Members of the public who have signed in will be given the opportunity to speak in the order they have signed in. Anyone else who did not sign in will be given the opportunity to speak. The CAO and development officer will be given the opportunities to present closing remarks or address any of the issues presented. Councilors will be given the opportunity to ask questions. Council will then end the hearing and consider the information received at the public hearing. Only councilors may ask questions of speakers during the hearing. If any person wishes to ask questions of a speaker, they must ask council to ask the question on their behalf during their presentation. And council will only ask the question if a councilor wishes to have an answer. Council will consider the presentations made regarding the bylaw and any other matter council considers appropriate. And I would at this point ask the CAO to confirm this public hearing has been advertised and notice has been provided in accordance with the applicable legislation.
Yes, it has, Ms. Chairman. The public hearing notice for bylaw number 072024 was advertised in the Redwater Review during the weeks of May 1st, 2024 and May 8th, 2024, and was posted on the municipal website, smokylake.ca on April 22nd, 2024. And then it's attached.
I will ask the CAO and or development officer to summarize the purpose of the hearing.
I'll just read the summary. The purpose of this public hearing is to gather public opinion on the effects of the proposed land use bylaw amendments, particularly pertaining to the amendments for accessory uses. The proposed amendments will allow for accessory buildings to be used as dwelling units in select residential districts, and the proposed amendments aim to ease the development permit process for manufactured homes. The amendments aim to reduce red tape for manufactured homes and increase accessibility to different housing types through accessory dwelling units. First reading the bylaw number 072024 was given on April 8th, 2024.
So before hearing from the public today, I asked the CAO to advise of any written submissions received.
And there was none.
Okay. Does council have any questions or points of clarification they wish to ask of the CAO and or development officer? Terry?
Do we have the bylaw in our package?
Yes, it's 9.2
Absolutely.
on page 81.
Are there any other questions from council? Did you have a question from that?
Nope.
All right, so I will now call upon persons signed up on the sign-in sheet who are in support of the proposed bylaw. And if anyone wishes to speak, please state your name, so your first and last name. And please note that each party wishing to speak will only have one opportunity to do so, and that their time will be limited to 10 minutes. And is there anybody in support that would like to speak?
Well, I guess I'm the only one on the sheet there who's, yeah.
So Fred Newell, would you like to speak?
Yes, I live here in Smoky Lake,
Please go ahead, sit down up here.
Oh,
If you like.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
and, we were just, my wife and I are planning, we bought some lots over there, we're planning on building a smaller than normal home. And it's going to be just a little over 600 square feet, that's what we have in our minds right now. And we just wanted to know if that was acceptable, that size of house.
Yeah, Don, did you?
I would defer to.
Sorry, Robin, just to.
So to answer that one, we actually did make amendments to our land use bylaw last year to allow for homes under 906 square feet. So it will be allowed,
Okay.
be a discretionary use development permit.
Yeah.
Did you have any other questions or comments? Perfect. Anybody else would like to speak in favor of the land use bylaw amendment? Okay. Does council have any questions for clarification for? Okay, so now I will call upon persons signed up on the sign-in sheet, which there are not, who are opposed for the bylaw, but if there is anybody that has not signed up but would like to speak, now is your opportunity. Okay. And then does council have any? No, there's any questions, sorry, and then that's it.
Yeah, ask if there's any.
I guess. But I don't see anybody. Well, no, I would have, but I would hope they would pop. I guess if there's anybody online, just in case I missed anybody. And if not, then I will close the question and answers and ask one last time if council has any additional questions of the staff. And if not, then being that there are no further presentations, I declare the public hearing closed at 1:15 p.m. Then we will move to yes, Marianne. Oh, there you go. I will move to delegations, so 5.1 with Marianne Janke, Travel Lakeland, Alberta, Iron Horse Trail, regarding the corridor regulation bylaw. Hi, Marianne.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for letting me take a few minutes of your time. So yeah, so I'll jump right into it. I believe that we have got, we've received a notice from the town of Smoky Lake in regards to the corridor bylaws for the Municore property. And in that, you were asking to have it amended to factor in use of non-tracked users on the trail between January 1st to March 31st when the weather conditions allow. So like this year when there was, lots of times when there was no snow, and certainly not available for snowmobiling. So I've talked to both, it was both on Riverland Recreational Trail Society's agenda and Municore's agenda for today, and had some discussions around it. So I guess I'd be open to maybe taking a look at what were some thoughts around how that could be managed. And the reason I'm asking that is I know that Riverland had some concerns about identifying, different sections on the 300 kilometers and levels of snow and stuff. So was there some input around what that could look like?
No. I'm not sure if it would work for everybody, but I think it's just the wording in it, right? Like today or this last season, I don't know if we could change the wording to a groomed trail. Like if you have enough snow and it's been groomed, that's when you definitely shouldn't have a non-tracked vehicle on it, but I don't know, that's the only, I was trying to think of, because I know the time period, like we all would have been fined this year, this last year, we would all got lots of fines. So, but there was no snow, so I think it should be accessible to all users, but obviously the problem when it is groomed is people have put a lot of work into it to groom it and then it's getting ripped down. So I don't know if that's, or what people think about that solution, but.
Any other thoughts on it? No? Okay. So yeah, I guess this year was a bit of a weird one. Not that we didn't have snow. So this is actually the third year in a row that Riverland Recreational Trail Society has put out over social media on the website for the public to say that the trail is closed from the 1st of January to March 31st for snowmobiling or other tracked units or non-motorized. I have to tell you, the first year there was a lot of pushback. There was a lot of disgruntled people, and we got, our, social media feeds got filled up with people that were, like, oh, hey, I ATV and it's a trail and it's multi-use and I can go when I want and all of this. And kind of slowly what started happening is the users kind of started to come back and put comments out there that, look like, ATVs can use it for eight months of the year. Let the snowmobilers have it for this 3 or 4 months or whatever it is. And so finally, like last year was finally kind of we had a really, really good rapport. And so I think that this snow thing turned out to be good in that it kind of tested this whole setup because of course it's not part of the bylaw yet that the trail be closed. And I was amazed at how many calls and emails and comments on social media that I got asking, there's no snow, could the ATVs go on? So people were asking instead of just going out and going ahead and doing it. So I think that over the last 3 years, we've kind of developed a community of users that kind of self-regulate. So now it's kind of when somebody posts a comment like, oh, the heck with it, I'm going to go, don't care what you guys say. Other users kind of get on and kind of comment down and go like, look, you know what, this is, like give the snowmobilers a chance and stuff like this. So I was really, really happy with the way that the user groups kind of came together, especially on social media, and kind of supported, okay, yeah, we can go use the trail now, there's no snow, but as soon as it does snow and it can be groomed or there's a base, then you can go. So Mel, the problem that I have with putting in the words that once it's groomed isn't necessarily when we would want untracked units to stay off, because they have to build up a base in order to get to the grooming part. And so there's a period in there where, yes, it may not be groomed, but the guys still don't want the ATV tire traffic on it in preparation for the grooming. So I know when I talked to Riverland about this, it was just a lot of questions around. I mean, we're dealing with 300 kilometers. Snow conditions aren't going to be the same all along those 300 kilometers. They said, like, how do you determine what the snow level is when, where's the tipping point? Is it at, 2 inches or 3 inches, or where's the tipping point that you tell people, okay, now ATVs aren't allowed? And I guess there was just a lot of discussion around that, like who's going to monitor it? What's the communication process? It just seemed like a logistical nightmare, to be honest with you, to try and figure out how to manage this. If it was worded in the bylaw that yes and no. So I've talked to a couple of other communities, and they've come back and said, so for example, MD of Bonnyville is compliant driven when they deal with complaint driven when they deal with their bylaws. So they said that they don't issue fines unless there's a complaint filed. They rely more on an education process. And I know that a couple of other municipalities are in kind of take a look at that as well. Like the priority is educating over fines. And then obviously if somebody's doing the same thing over and over again, right? So I guess both with Riverland and Municorp, what they came back with was, because we already have 5 of the municipalities, so 5 of the municipalities have already passed these bylaws. And so going back and changing a couple of the some of the wording, we're trying to avoid that. And if as well as logistically trying to manage snow cover and that whole process, would it be acceptable to kind of adopt this education over fine type of mentality, which is something that we've said right from the beginning? Because the two big things that changed in these bylaws were closing it from January 1st to March 31st for wheel traffic. And then the other thing was allowing motorbikes, so off-highway registered motorbikes access on the Iron Horse Trail. Those were our 2 biggest things. And Riverland's always said right from the beginning that this is going to be an education process more than expecting fines to be issued. So we're just wondering if that kind of approach would be acceptable.
Mel, you had another comment?
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I see how much of a logistic nightmare this would be. I'm an avid snowmobiler and UTV, like I'm on the trail all the time. And to be perfectly honest, it's a very selfish reason why I had concerns about the bylaw, because as a counselor, I should be following what bylaws we've adopted, right? So I really wanted to make sure that it was, it'd look pretty bad if Councillor Morton got a fine for being out on the trail on her UTV because it's closed, because it's supposed to be for snowmobilers between January and March, but there's no snow, right? So I that's what my concern with the bylaw is. I think mostly we're also complaint based, right? So I don't foresee it being an issue. I just wanted to have a conversation on it,
Yeah.
just to clarify for the users as well, and the communication, going out. So it's good to hear that people are asking, and having some input.
Yeah. So we actually, so the MD Bonnyville also came forward with a few comments as well, and theirs is kind of more around the wording as well, and some of it is just around, I think at one point we said that, the definition of a peace officer, and the definition has changed, and so our definition of a peace officer really isn't like to date, which, so just a couple things like that. And so we're going to go back to them as well and say, you know, can we live this with this until there's a reason for us to do another change to the bylaws and then update and bring it forward. And so if that's a possibility, and the other thing that we talked about too was the communication piece. And so I know that when we sent out the notification, like when we posted on social media, pinned it on our social media that, hey, the trail is open right now, ATVs can use it. We'll notify, you know, we'll put out a notice when that's no longer happening, when we have sufficient snow cover and stuff like that. So I think we noted that better communication with the municipalities. And so then that would mean with your bylaw officers, better communication coming from Riverland Recreational Trail Society as well, to inform the 10 municipalities that, okay, as of now, because we have no snow, we're still going to allow ATVs. We're posting it on social media, we're posting it on our website. And then once that reverses, it's now like, okay, no, now we have enough snow, and communicating that back. So I think communication back and forth is a key part of this as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, any other questions? Good. Yeah, I think you've answered all the questions, and we'll discuss a little bit further probably, but I think that sounds fair.
Okay, perfect. Well, if anything else comes up, just let me know. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your
Thank
time,
you.
Mary Ann.
Thank you, Mary Ann.
Okay, bye-bye.
Right, we'll continue on because we'll have 5.2, but that'll be sort of that three. So we'll move to administrative report 6.1. And Mary Ann, any questions?
Thank you. And so, yeah, that's just basically it, a couple questions. So, so I'm on page 17, and it is the Public Works had identified that there was some water training. So is that for the new, looking forward to the project for the reservoir, or is that just?
No, so since Barry and Billy left, we've been working under the county's license and training. So we signed an agreement with them back then. And so we need to get staff trained. So Eric and John are taking the training formally right now. So that was the intro course. And then there's more training and they're gonna split from there and concentrate on different areas, but just to make sure we're fully certified in-house and more than one person. Actually, I would like one more to actually take it. I'd like to have all of them with all of them have all of the training so that, yeah. And especially when it's not like it's a $5,000 course, it's it's an easier, more reasonable training to take and send staff on. So my goal is to actually have all of them have training in it eventually.
Thank you. And then the second, under the same report, and it's on page 18, I'm just a question regarding, there's some lines that were flushed. Now, is that not a seasonal or an annual thing where we flush out the lines in their entirety, or did we?
Yes, yeah, it was just, yes.
So why was there extra work done, or? help me
No, I tried to
understand?
delete the things that were just your day-to-day things, but some, I didn't. He's very thorough and John is very thorough in his reports to me, which is really nice to have, but I also know that you don't need to see this, you know, that they're doing the water meter reads, they do it every month and the water, you know. So I usually just kind of delete a few of the items that are more day-to-day that are him reporting to me as his manager and then copy the rest onto here. That's all. It's just normal, standard flushing. Yes, and then when there's issues,
So
sorry, I'm getting a message here too, so let me
Yeah.
just make sure.
Okay, so then.
I hate to
I guess-
misspeak.
Do we do them, when were the lines last flushed? All of them.
Oh. John, do you have an answer to that? So he said we flush periodically to maintain chlorine levels and to ensure potability of water. So you just kind of rotate through, don't you, as needed, or as, yeah, as needed. You can pop onto the screen if you'd like, or answer me on here. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, so we just we take chlorine measurements daily, right, throughout town. And we if it is on the lower side, like if it's a bigger main that has less flow, then we would just flush that line out to maintain the higher chlorine level. There's a certain range it has to be in to ensure potability of the water. And we also flush probably once a year. What you're thinking of is just to get like sediment buildup, maybe not sediment, but just like any kind of like debris level that's in the pipe that just like will build up over time.
Thank you.
Does that make sense? Okay.
And then just to answer the question, when was the last time that the lines were flushed?
Well, I think what he's saying is it depends on the water tests in those areas, correct?
Yeah, and yeah, just depending on the size of what the main is, if there's like more or less
So the
flow.
one you're specifically concerned about, Marianne?
No, I was wondering if it was seasonal or annual.
Annual, he said, once a year.
It's a periodical.
Yeah, as needed. Annually some, and then the ones that are needed are done as needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, based on what, chlorine levels.
Terry, you had a question or no?
Yeah, John, how are things going behind the Centex? Is that looking okay now?
So just an update on that. We've been checking it daily since there was all the issues there.
Yeah.
We've been flushing it time to time to avoid any potential problem. So Camtrack tried to go in there the first time, but they were having an issue getting their camera inside. Unfortunately, I wasn't there for that day. I didn't see that, but we coordinated with the businesses after that to have their water shut off for a short period of time to have no flow throughout the pipe. And we stuck a cable camera inside the main. And our camera unfortunately was underwater for much of it, which determines that there is a sag in the line there. So there's a dip, and which made our camera be underwater. And so we determined that there's a sag, and then Camtrack was in town to inspect some other mains as part of MPE's engineering plan. So we just had them try again at the Centex there. And unfortunately, I wasn't there. Well, I was there for the first day. They were able to make it in about halfway. But unfortunately, they were getting hung up on some sediment, like rocks that were in the pipe. And that was at the end of the day. So I instructed them to, they were coming back the next day anyway. So I told them to clean out the pipe again and try it again. But unfortunately, I was gone for that day. I had to go up to Calgary for my water course. And so basically, we're waiting to get the footage back. I'm not sure if they were able to make it all the way on their second attempt. We're just waiting to hear back from or get the video footage back from that organization, the contractor. We're unsure at this moment if there's damage inside the pipe. We'll have to see if there's any video footage that we can get and determine. But there's definitely a sag in the main, which makes it a lot more prone to blockage and harder to maintain.
All right, thank you.
Sorry, we just want to make sure we know exactly what needs to be replaced, so we don't replace 20 feet when we only need to replace 5. So we're trying to get and just stay on it so that we don't have more backup.
Thanks for the update, John.
We may need a special meeting before the next one, since we're a month away from the next council meeting.
Yeah, I'll update you as soon as I get some more information.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other?
No, I was gonna add. If there's any other concepts.
I have a brochure from the
there was a development brochure, there was a brochure that was developed and I asked about it. I'm sorry, that one you did. Well, he's gone.
They came up again during a previous meeting, so.
Yeah, I will get that to you for sure.
Well, for all of us.
Yeah, yes, to you. Yes, and we'll make sure that goes on our website as well. Laura's actually been updating our website, so. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So at this time, if there's no other discussion, I'd like to move to accept the administrative reports, verbal and written as presented.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed, so carried. And we'll move to 7.1. Delegation Marianne Jenkins Northeast Unifor.
So if you were happy with her response and wanting me to bring this bylaw back, I can bring it to the next meeting for second and third readings. Or if you further discussion.
Carried.
Yeah, well, it's more of a comment, like. I agree with her, there's not, like, bylaw, the way it's worded right now still isn't great, but I don't know how to make it better. So I think we just need to think on that, so that it's black and white, right? And every year to year is not black and white. So. But the communication part will be good, and maybe our municipality can talk about getting better signage, and if they're updating us on what is allowed on the trail, then we can put up proper signage for our users at the staging area.
Yeah. So we're okay to bring it back then?
I'm good.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll move the town of Smoky Lake accept the presentation by Marianne Denke, Executive Director of Northeast Unicorp Limited, as information and the request administration bring bylaw number 2024 corridor regulations bylaw back to council meeting for second and third readings.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. And then we'll move to 7.2, rural renewal stream.
So we had this was discussed at RCDC as a motion from our town council. And then we had a special council meeting, a special RCDC meeting 2 weeks later to specifically focus on rural renewal and find a way how to make it happen. Being that there was such, I think it was seen as a priority at that level. We did bring in, there were several people there as delegations at that meeting. Decided it shouldn't be run through RCDC ultimately. So we did lose quorum during the meeting, so no formal motion could come from RCDC. But with that, we didn't feel that there needed to be after discussion between Lydia and myself. And we felt that it didn't necessarily need a motion from RCDC since it's not being run under them. So what we wanted to happen was for it to go through each municipality to make motions to support having the Chamber of Commerce run the program using the consultants that are being used in another municipality. It's on here, SPCC Consulting. Michelle Wright had done some further research on that consultant and seemed quite happy with them unanimously. For the members that were still in the meeting, wanted to go this route. We did look at having Slave Lake. I brought that forward, that Slave Lake offered to do the services for us for a cost of $10,000 a year, very reasonable. But one of the biggest concerns that came up there is he said they would do it, but it would be under Town of Slave Lake job posting, right? And everything under, and then we'd be a sub underneath. So we'd run under their umbrella. And even you add the fact that it's TOSL, Town of Slave Lake, created even more confusion. So the committee was not really happy with going in that direction for that reason. And all supported using the chamber and this consultant. So what we're looking for, so it went to county on Thursday and it was approved there. The villages have, it sounds like they're planning strongly, like there was strong wording around, we're gonna make this happen, so we'll see what happens. It's supposed to go to their councils on the 22nd, I think, around that week. So if you are okay with moving forward that way, we kind of collaborated. Thank you, Patty, for the rewording of the motion here. We wanted to all pass the same motion, then we would do a letter of support that would go to the chamber and they would actually submit the rural renewal I've had 5 business owners and several residents come to me about this, as well as people that are representing our Ukrainian immigrants and whatnot, so we're definitely feeling the pinch on this one, so if you're okay with supporting and going in that direction. And our RCDC members, if they want to speak any further on that, or if I missed anything, or.
Yeah, no, I had a couple questions, so if I may.
Yeah.
And I believe it was at the county meeting, one of the county councils spoke that they identified some data, and I'm just wondering, is there any data that we have at this level of how many newcomers are in the region? So we're doing a program based on
Demand, but no, I don't have any
Yeah.
statistics.
I believe at the county meeting, they said 30, so I'm just
Okay.
not sure who's keeping that data or where we're collecting it from and how it would impact the people that are, say newcomers from Ukraine here, in terms of getting their permanent residency if the province is not supporting it at this time. So my other concern is a letter of support is fine. At this time, they're not seeking any financial support or contributions, but I would like to, if the program moves forward after the letter of support, I'm not sure of the timeline for that. And then if we would do another check-in just to ensure that we're all aligned.
Done.
So I spoke with this consultant as well, because again, there were so many, we had a lot of, what is the word? Irons in the fire. So I had spoken to the consultant as well. So what they'll do is, they'll do the rural renewal stream, but they're also the entrepreneurial stream, which could really benefit us in terms of bringing businesses in. So what this consultant said to me is that you're not allowed to make money off this program, right? You're not allowed to charge for this program, the rural renewal. But that was the idea, is the consultants make money elsewhere with bringing in the businesses and whatnot, working on that end. Is how I understood it, so there should never be a charge for the program. Cause they'll, when I spoke with him about, cause there was the option that we could work with them to do this, and they basically are doing most of the work, so Chamber's more the. Yeah, like the connecting everyone and under that umbrella for us as a region. I mean, it could come back later, something different, but at this point, it should be the consultants doing all the work. Yeah, but you're right, we should do regular check-ins. I fully agree. We should definitely bring the chamber in to update us moving forward.
Yeah. And I guess if there is any follow-up on how that data was kept, if maybe the chamber knows how many newcomers there are, or how is it that we don't seem to know that, but they do?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. So.
Okay.
Evelyn?
So I'm gonna be voting against this. And I'm the one that brought this forward. And I regret it now if this is the way that it's going to go. Because I do believe it's really important for our community, but this presentation had nothing written. I found it to be a very poor presentation. When people come before you and they say free, 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 nothing is for free, and that should have us concerned. It's also because the reason I brought it forward is because originally Lauren Haliski brought it forward and then said they talked to Bonnieville and they thought it was a terrible program. And I talked to the town of St. Paul and the county of St. Paul, had a great conversation with them where they do have an economic development counselor, economic development officer in place who I have a lot of respect for, who's doing great things for them. And her reaction when I told her in person that we were going to speak with these consultants was flying her hands up in the air and said, what are you doing? What are you doing? She's already had, I'm gonna finish.
Yeah, no, and then
Because she's already had interaction. She has already taken the time and the energy to look into this. And she really strongly advised us not to do it. I trust her that she has done the effort. Our CDC did not do the effort. All we had was a presentation. And we are under pressure to do this. And again, it's not the program itself, but there's 2 words that are being associated with it right now, and that is human trafficking. So if we have, yes, that's what was discussed. In fact, it was at your meeting, it was your NAGO meeting that apparently it came up in some of the.
Connected to a specific
No, but it goes to show that
Renewal
this,
in general, yes.
Yes, just in general, but not to an entity.
yes, so this is why what I would prefer us to do is defer this. In the sense that we don't need to do it right now. I don't know why we're moving so quickly with it. And another thing that I was really shocked by with the county with approving it is because all along we've had their members on RCDC saying, can we just wait till we get our new CAO hired? And we don't have a full board as well too. That's why quorum was not met, is because we're missing 3 members. We don't have 3 members of the public that are part of this board. So I find I'm really uncomfortable with all of this, and I will be asking for a recorded vote because I don't understand why and I'm the one that brought it forward, and I'm the one that's been doing all the talking to all the other municipalities to see what they're doing. It's a good program. It needs to be done properly. Can we not slow down for 2 or 3 months and get our ducks lined up so that we can do this program properly?
I just want to bring it, so after you left the meeting, I did an update on my conversation with,
Lynn Selstrom.
thank you, sorry, I don't have those notes in front of me. I did ask her about the program, when I asked her about the consultant, her concern was you can't pay for this program, so she didn't like it. When I followed up more, it was that there was no cost, so, again, great program, she's willing to share everything, some great information there. It is still her supporting a person doing this who's half their job is doing rural renewal. So that was the biggest thing, is it's still a lot of work, right? We can go that route. The only reason I think the committee was wanting to move forward, what I'm understanding, was the demand from the residents. I had another business owner call me on Friday saying, I have a resident, or another employee, second one or third one I'm losing. And there's nothing to support them. There's no way to keep them there. That's, I think, why moving forward. I will also, out of transparency, say that I did mention that I did have a couple, like I did question, I said, can I play devil's advocate on the consultants, and did bring forward. So what I had brought forward was they hadn't been successful bringing anyone in under rural renewal yet, but they were successful on the entrepreneurial side. And that they didn't have a lot of experience. So I did bring forward, like, just pay attention to those components. And then I did defer to Michelle Wright. I did say, I don't know if you spoke further with them, what your comfort level is. And she had said they had a lot of connections with Edmonton. She spoke further about that. So, and that the committee, the members that were left were supportive at that point and comfortable with it. But I did bring forward any concerns, so I see where you're coming from as well.
Terry?
So Evelyn, the program, like you said, is okay. So by doing this letter of support to the Chamber of Commerce, does that, because from what I understood, we had to get in queue because there's only so much that's gonna be available. It's the consultants that you're worried about more so, so in here, we're just giving the Chamber of Commerce authorization because they need a municipality to get in on ground level. So with this, can we allow them to do their application but not use that consultant?
The issue would be who's doing the work, because it's a 0.5 position,
yeah.
20 hours a week is what I'm hearing, to process, do all the paperwork and do it, like,
The
do the work.
application,
Do the work, yes, it's a lot of educating people on, how you move to the next steps, how you get, make sure that each business qualifies. It's a lot of work is what I'm hearing, and Linda agreed, right, that it's effective, great program. Westlock I talked to as well, same thing, great program, takes a lot of work. Slave Lake, that's the biggest thing, is that it's downloading from the province. So now it's coming to municipalities, pressures on us, because we're hearing it from our business owners and our residents, or people that want to stay in the community, that there's a need for this, but are we willing to, hire that person that can do this part-time, or find a way to support it internally to make this happen? If we're doing it outside, if we don't want to go the direction of recommendation, I can't say motion from our CDC.
Evelyn?
So yes, Terry, if we were hiring someone specifically to do this, I would be definitely in support of it. The reason why Slave Lake was called in is because they are doing that, because again, as both those municipal employees explained, it is time and energy to learn the program, and that is what Linda has done. So I would feel almost comfortable hiring someone like a Linda or Slave Lake, apparently, like, again, Slave Lake with the issues of that. So again, it's a good program. But I'm not supportive of the consultants who have only worked with 2 hills so far and who have no success so far.
Mary Ann?
So to take what you're saying, in the presentation that those of us that weren't there, the data that was presented by Slave Lake. They had some, they prepared a presentation. There was some data that they captured over the period of time that they were doing it at a cost of $10,000, which I think if we look at it, the chamber does not have the money or the personnel to add to that or to use it or do it as a standalone, maybe back in the municipality. So the other company, as referred to on page 24 of what Dawn has presented or prepared, they did not present any data that they had accomplished this or anything was written down. So I'm not sure that this should have even went to RCDC when we look at with Setna not being part of RCDC. Maybe it was an ICC thing to start with, but that's neither here nor there where we're at today. My other concern is with the letter of support, at some point, if we support it and then it comes back where everything is successful, there could be a financial ask from the chamber, which I don't know. I'm only speculating at this time. But then we're in a position where we have agreed to support something, so then we should be paying for it.
Mel?
I'm thoroughly confused now. So,
Yeah.
It is.
Linda says we can't pay for it. Slave Lake says we have to pay them for it. This person said we're not paying for it.
Slave Lake.
Why is it
in Min?
I know, but why is it here if the 2 people that are on our RCDC board don't seem to be in favor of it? I'm like
The meeting,
thoroughly confused.
there was support by all the members of the meeting.
I would like to defer this to the next meeting till I can figure out what's going on, because I feel like I don't really have all of the information, because how can we pay for admin?
So it would be, so the idea of Slave Lake would be just like if we hired somebody and we paid their
Like a
wages, right?
CEO.
So we'd be paying admin time. So it's paying an employee to run the program for us. But we can't charge back to the businesses or the applicants, right? So the consultant can't charge back to an employer to say, I wanna hire someone. They can't say, okay, it's gonna cost you 10 grand, right? They can't do that. That part's not allowed. They've not brought in any from rural renewal. They are bringing in some businesses, some highway business development there. So they've seen some success there, but I did question there's no applicants yet for rural yet though. Because when I spoke with the CAO, it was that this was very successful. So, Slave Lake, we could do it under Slave Lake. It's just the advertising would be under their name. That's what the board didn't like, right? So, because it's they're the ones that have the rural renewal. We would be a sub under them, just like here it would be say the main person is the county and then we're under them. Well, that makes more sense. Whereas there it's a little far removed. That was the concern there.
And sorry, just to add to that, one thing that I don't know if it was discussed, but we cannot just the town apply for it because people that live in the town would be restricted. If they work in the county, vice versa, if they live in the county and work in the town, they would not qualify. So there's some pretty strict guidelines by which to operate under this program. So I like the idea of having more data. We are time sensitive because we don't know how many newcomers or businesses it impacts right now at this present time in May of 2024, right? And it is a 3-year program. It's not you're in and out. It's a duration of 3 years. When you sign up for that, that's, it's quite intense.
No.
I think I don't know, I'm on the fence, 'cause I don't know what to do, because I've been approached by 4 people.
Me too, I've been approached myself.
Like,
Me too.
wanting this,
Yes.
needing this, and so I think that we do.
And it has to be done initially.
And I'm not,
That's
Yeah,
the big
other
thing,
thing, and
because,
if we start,
yeah,
But
it has to be reasonable.
I don't feel the same as Marianne, I don't mind giving a letter of support and then pulling back if it goes
Yeah.
not the direction that we want it to, I don't have an issue doing that. But it's very nice of you, but like, I do feel like I do support the program. In this motion, it doesn't say, we're not stating, the company's
But
name.
it's in the background.
But
Because we'd be
maybe,
contracting the chamber, and then it's up to them how to implement it, basically.
I'm just wondering if moving forward, if we could make a letter of support and then make another motion. To like, we need to, like, I feel more comfortable
I don't mean to be rude, but I got some validity involved.
Okay, thanks for coming, man.
talking to, yeah. The motion itself, if you just read that motion and didn't go into the background, I'm comfortable with the motion. Because it is giving a letter of support to move ahead with this, but knowing the background information that I'm hearing about today, it makes me a little uneasy. So I'm not really sure how to move forward, because I do think it's important and I do want to get going, but now I'm a little gun shy.
Evelyn.
Bad decisions are usually made when it's this kind of, because now it's, oh, well, if we don't get on board, then we're gonna miss out. And I don't wanna have that kind of pressure, because if we're not gonna do this right, then we shouldn't, and I'm not asking for perfection, but if we're not gonna do this right, then we should not be doing that. And I don't like the aspect that, oh, look, it's free, because it's not free and it shouldn't be free, because there's a lot of work that's involved with this and running the program. So it is something that we should consider committing money to. So when somebody comes and says, oh, we'll run it for you, but it will be free to you,
Terry?
and without any success.
So can we, because basically what we're doing is we're giving the Chamber of Commerce our letter of support to become regional person for this program. So is it possible to have a meeting with them to make sure that they're, like, my question is, you guys have done some homework, are they aware of it? That's the thing, like, I'd hate to not go ahead with this because it's needed and stop their progress because of something we found out that they might not know of, so like I said, I think I would support it because of the wording. It's not supporting something that we're not sure of. It's supporting the Chamber of Commerce for this region of Smoky Lake. And I guess it's not in our hands, but we could, what's the right word? We can lobby the Chamber of Commerce to go in certain directions or give them the information that we have so that they don't go in a different direction than what is best for people. Because it is something that is needed for the evacuees and other people in the community, that it's gonna help their citizenship application tremendously. So I'd hate to lose that.
Yeah.
So that's would be my reason for supporting this recommendation.
Well, I think we've discussed enough, so if someone could put the motion on the table, we could vote. Oh,
I forget what I was gonna say now. Yeah, well, I noticed, sorry, because Michelle Wright was, and Noel and Dell, we're all there. So it sounds like she's done quite a bit of homework, but we could definitely bring forward the concerns about making sure that using this consultant, like, as they're going through the process, that can be done that way, to make sure that we're not doing something improper, right? We can bring forward, that was the biggest concern, make sure that you're working with the province to communicate, to make sure that going this route doesn't breach the requirements of the program. So I know when I spoke with Laura, that was one of the comments was, or Linda, sorry, was, the paid part. But when I talked to them about it and brought that forward, that was the reassurance on the other side was no, there's no paying, that was the biggest concern. That's what I understood, yes.
That we're seeking the service, they can't be charged.
Very, very clear. But even if they're getting their, like, if they're doing that for free, and the economic development side could be good, right? The entrepreneurial side is great, if you can get more businesses in town and that's where they're making their money. But I think, to say we counsel or even make a motion that they get confirmation from the province that we can do it they can do it this way and it'll be, it isn't reaching anyone.
Last one, because
I was in the meeting, and when you have the town of Slave Lake consultant speak, then it became a meeting between the two consultants, like the ones that were presenting to us that we want to go with. And then they were like, and again, it turned into their meeting because then they were saying, oh, we didn't know that. And can we talk to you about this and so on? And it was because the town of Slave Lake representative already had it in place that there was certain protections such as housing and especially in the winter and following up on that. And this is why this is a very good program, but it's also a very sensitive program because you want to make sure that whoever is coming into the country, that they're protected, where the word human trafficking is coming in, that you're making sure that they are taken care of properly. And that's what the Slave Lake program did, and that the consultants that presented to us didn't once say a word about it. So a recorded vote, please.
all right, Terry,
I'll move that the town of Smoky Lake endorse a letter of support for the Smoky Lake region, Smoky Lake County, Smoky Lake Town, Village of Vilna, Village of Wasetna, to become a designated community under the Rural Renewal Stream through the Alberta Advantage Immigration Program, and approve the Smoky Lake Regional Chamber of Commerce to be the lead in submitting the Rural Renewal Committee designation application form and act as the economic development organization who will lead and manage the project and represent the community through the designation period, approximately 3 years, to fulfillment the responsibilities of a designated community, which are identifying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bullets here. Identifying, connecting, developing, responding, collaborating, and developing.
all right, all in favor? Any opposed? And you want me to name the opposed? Okay, so in favor are Melody Morton, Amy Kirmish, and Terry McAwaychick, and opposed is Evelyn Cobes and Marianne Crosby. What did I say?
Nothing.
Oh, okay,
No, but I would like to make another motion,
okay,
just to,
confirm of the proper procedure of the program.
I would like to,
process.
make a motion for administration to,
Get a meeting with chamber.
for administration to, let the chamber know of the concerns that we have, making sure that the program is going to be properly administrated, and to reach out, to set up a meeting. I'd actually like a meeting between the town and the chamber. Invite them to the next meeting? Invite them to the next meeting as a delegation possibly, yeah.
Let's just do this.
If you want to make a friendly amendment to that.
No, but I'm just gonna call. You're gonna call the question.
Yeah,
No, I'm gonna make a nomination.
all in favor? Any opposed? Were you in favor, Evelyn?
I'm in favor.
Okay. Pass.
Could I make a motion?
Yeah, I guess.
And it's not an amendment, it doesn't have to go through chamber unless that they have this data, but if our administration could And before I make the motion, just the background, with FCSS, they were providing supportive services to the newcomers when people first came as refugees in that status, and so maybe there is some data, but if administration could they could supply data at this time, May 2024, how many people within the community or the region are impacted as wanting to receive permanent residency status. Just so we have a ballpark number. And that would just be the entire family if that's not my motion, but the family if there's 4 people, including children. Thank you.
Okay, all in favor? None opposed, so carried. And I also wanted to comment that the human trafficking comment made was not directed at any specific entity. That was just a concern that had been brought up
Towards.
in general towards the rural industry, just to clarify, there's nobody that came. Anyway, we'll call a break at 2:07. Disclaimer. Those are good.
My back. I'm like, yeah.
Okay, we'll call the meeting back to order at 2:11. 7.3 strategic plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's me. So I guess it's just a question to administration. So when we had the workshop, how would items that we discussed at the workshop and that were kind of takeaways for admin, so how would do we need to make a motion at this point, or how would they be worked on? So.
Were there things missing?
No, things that we were going to have as takeaways for admin. So.
No?
Yeah.
So because we had it in a workshop, there won't be motions, but if you wanted like an actual, like if you wanted some
Tracking.
yeah, then you would have to make it at this meeting.
Could an email be
Yeah.
made and sent to everyone about what you're looking for? Yes, and then have it emailed and then brought back to the next meeting with what you like.
Yeah, even June, or there's no rush. It's just so that I guess we have that alignment and we have it on record that as the outcomes from that workshop.
Because we were updating this plan based on the workshop, but there's potential, again, we were very short-staffed and
Yeah.
our staff was very busy with the audit and whatnot, so there's a chance that not everything's in there, so if we're missing something, definitely, and we have our notes still, so. Yeah, if there's anything you want added to the action plan for or implementation plan for 2024, you can just request have it on the agenda and make a motion of what you want added.
No, I think,
I just have a quick comment.
Okay.
So this one that's in our agenda package is the updated one, not the one that was at the workshop.
It should be,
But
but
no,
now
I
I'm
can-
wondering
yeah.
if we missed
No,
something,
I'm
if it
just
is.
Because I could move that we accept the newly presented strategy
I'm just
and
trying to think what was added, yeah, see, to make sure I have the right
So-
thing in here.
Marion, I want you to be more clear about what you're looking for, because I'm not sure what you're asking.
so specifically, I had shared a little bit about our tourism strategy, and we were looking maybe at the CN station, if there was some opportunity that admin could look at some designations or additional work on admin. And then we had a group discussion about some programs that maybe were not functioning or not everyone was participating in. No. Yeah, so I just wanted to know if there was something.
That one I have as, sorry, Crystal, thank you, yes, I have that one as an action item, but the last meeting was 2 weeks ago, so I don't have it at this meeting, I have it written down for June.
Okay, 'cause I didn't- and
yeah.
pardon me, I didn't see it in the action and I didn't see an update, so then I was thinking, well, maybe we need to have it
Yeah.
at this point, a motion, and that's why it's on here.
Yeah, I have that I have that written down for June.
Okay.
And then, and I have to apologize, I said that the signs were down at the sand station and they haven't been removed yet, they're still on the work list, so.
Yeah, and then, because we, with the CNs, if, sorry.
Do you want to?
Hey, no, she's good.
I was
Go
just
ahead.
gonna finish up with the sign.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
That's pertaining to them, because then the new signs are coming, or the new plaques, so then to have a kind of a work plan there, so we're not.
Yeah, their plan is to, they're putting up the signs on Thursday and with that, they're removing the old ones then. Whereas I
Thought they were.
thought they had, because they were like, yeah, we're removing them, but that they put them in the work plan to do it at the same time rather than doubling up the work.
Okay, thank you. Mel?
I was just gonna ask that you update the asset management to say public works manager, not really.
Is that in the first?
Or am I,
Yeah,
you're looking,
that's in 23s. The smaller writing is
my
24.
mistake, I'm sorry. Good job on updating that for say public works.
Well, that was him specifically taking training though. that he
Oh, I
took. Yeah,
Sure.
Okay, it's not there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Looking at.
so it is the updated one.
Mary Ann's going to make the motion on 7.3.
So no further discussion, I move that the town of Smoky Lake accept for information the 2023 and 2024 strategic plan implementation reports.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. Oh my God, really? We'll move to 7.4, amended 2024 operating budget.
Close it.
Would you like to join us? No, I gotta pay for water. Thank you.
Dawn, if you could just clarify, this was one of mine, the amended for 2024 operating budget.
I'll defer to Crystal if you don't mind.
No, that's fine. Switching the sign. Oh, okay.
We have to make two separate signs because you move the door and it flips around to closed session.
I don't like that hanging one, yeah. It's the machine. It's the machine on size.
So under the background, I cannot foresee the future, and Evelyn, I put that made the motion on November 27th, 2024, should be 2023, I apologize. So this is the amended 2024 operating budget coming back for final approval before we do the tax rate bylaw. We, as I say in the RFD, we had updates on the schooling foundation, or the schooling requisition, the seniors foundation, the policing so considered a requisition, but the policing cost. And the new LGFF operating funding was confirmed. So that was all put into the budget. Along with the internet that was amended due to actuals that we no longer have it anymore, so we don't have the budget as high. So under general revenue, under the revenue, the general, I increased the investments as per the actual from 2023. So I originally budgeted low just in case we weren't going to receive the investments, but as per the actual, I'm confident that we will receive those. Under the 12 municipal services, increase that from the previous budget to include the LGFF operating and the municipal end was in there. Under 27, the doctor services, that $18,000 is new. That's the rent that we receive for the house, which will go towards the cost of the house. Internet was decreased. So once the revenue was all looked at, we're balancing the budget with the expenditures. So the expenditures were all updated according. What our needs are.
So when we pass this in, passing it early, that is the disadvantage. We don't have all the actuals. We just need to now have Crystal balance it with the actuals of the requisitions. And then those little changes that were in.
Any questions for Crystal. Terry?
Already, I can move that the town of Smoky Lake approve the amended 2024 operating budget in the amount of $4,235,164.65 in revenue and $4,235,164.65 in expenditure.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. And we will move to new business, 8.1. So Fed Gas Insurance Reciprocal Exchange Annual General Meeting and Federation of Alberta Gas Co-op Limited Members Meeting. Terry?
Got a question. Is this the Alberta Fed meeting, or is this the Fed Gas Insurance Reciprocal Exchange meeting? It's two different things. So we don't get them confused.
I think it's both. It's fire AGM.
Yeah.
The
I don't think it
insurance.
is.
And then the members meeting. I guess it's the fire meeting, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not,
it's the
it's
fire
not the
meeting.
Alberta, it's not the Fed,
Well, it's the
Federation of Alberta Co-ops, it's the insurance part of it.
It's the insurance part of
Yeah,
it,
so
yes.
we never go to this.
It's the annual, the fire meeting, annual general meeting and the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-op members meeting. It's both. That's the invite, the email from Fed Gas is on page 49.
Just keep going down. Should be like, that's it. The yellow.
And you're registering for both meetings.
See, it doesn't give me the pages of this. Let's get the
No,
pages
but
there.
it's right there. The email is right.
This one.
Yeah.
When I spoke with Daniel, when I first started here with the county, asking for advice on what meetings to attend, what ones were important for me and or my staff and council. This was one he had brought up, being that you're voting on rates and whatnot at this. That's what I understood. I'm not sure if we've ever gone, but we did approve someone to go last year. On the other hand,
I didn't go.
you didn't go, no. I did attend.
Yeah, just in my mind, I don't think this has any value to it.
So would we just file for information? Unless there's someone else that has a different opinion?
So, if I may, so is it not important to send someone from Public Works, or how does it work?
That's an operational one though, so that would just be, I've authorized John to go if he wanted to go.
So then for voting, to go back to what Terry said, so how are votes determined? Like each municipality has one, or whoever?
We don't get to vote, so if
You're
you're
not
not there,
voting
we don't
member?
vote.
Yeah.
John can't vote.
No, we have.
So is the town of Smoky Lake a voting member?
Yes.
Yes.
But council is. John would be there getting the administrative side and the information side. And there was some good information from an operating perspective last year. There was some sessions that I had just taken them when I did the supervisory course. So for him going, I think it would be valuable. Whether it's up to council if you want to send some.
Terry?
See, and this is just, it's just a members meeting, it's not the members convention.
No.
No,
Yeah.
the convention's in November.
That's right.
We've got rooms booked. We're ready for that one when we're ready to bring it to council to see if anyone wants to go to that one.
Mel?
My suggestion would be to file for information.
Do you want to make that motion?
Well, I think I'd like to go back to our
Oh,
circle that we're not doing.
I didn't
Give me-
where is the server?
Well, Terry keeps. So it's Evelyn's turn.
It's kind of more back and forth.
Evelyn's turn.
Evelyn.
All right, that the town of Smoky Lake file for information, the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops June members meeting. And blah, 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 and casino in Edmonton.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. That's the best one ever. So then we'll move to 8.6, reserve allocations.
Sorry,
Melanie,
just, oh, never mind, it's too late now anyways. Sorry. It's good.
no,
So this is on my list of questions, but I think Crystal answered it when you did the budget. That's why we're changing this.
Can you bring me up to speed?
yep, go ahead, Crystal.
So in order to allocate any money from the operating to a reserve, it has to be by council motion. I know we talked about it and it was included in the operating budget. We don't have a reserve policy yet.
Which will be coming to
Which will-
council in
we're
the
bringing
next couple months.
So in order to make it official, we have to have a council motion allocating it to a specific reserve.
Oh, now I get it.
Terry?
So basically what we're doing is the excess of the 23 operating budget is now going to go into because it's unrestricted.
Well, we had budgeted for it, yeah.
Right, and now it's gonna go into a restricted.
It has to be by council motion.
There we go. Okay, that answered my question.
Mary Evelyn?
I would like to
Yep.
make it, well, I have to, but in here somewhere, because we're not doing that. Around the table, that the town of Smoky Lake transfer the approved reserve amount in the 2023 operating budget in the amount of $20,108.44 from the unrestricted reserve to the restricted reserve entitled capital, and allocate the reserve amount in the approved amended 2024 operating budget in the amount of $51,216.47 to the restricted reserve entitled capital.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. And now we'll move to 9.1, personnel policy. P-02-2024.2. Can't remember who brought that.
So this one, at a council meeting, I don't think there was actually a motion for it, but there was Mary Ann had brought up that she would like to see the work alone included in the personnel policy. So when I went to update it, I had already updated it this year and I realized I hadn't transferred it to the new template yet. So I transferred it to the new template, cleaned it up a little bit. Thank you to Laura, who is an amazing proofreader and caught a bunch more stuff for me and cleaned it up further. And so the main, like, other than those little changes throughout that are more grammatical, the changes are the added in red, the work from home, not work alone, work from home, sorry.
Mary Ann, did you?
Yeah, so pardon me, I don't think it was me. I thought we were waiting for a standalone return home policy.
No, I had mentioned that I would just include it in the personnel policy. Cause it's personnel, it falls under the personnel policy. I don't, yeah. It's just to authorize it. We don't technically need it in a policy, but.
Terry?
Just one question on the ergonomic workstation that's to be supplied by the employee.
So just basically, we can't, you know, I want pictures and video, you know, but it's to say, you need to be safe at home as well, so making sure that your workstation is set up appropriately. And we've had some taking advantage of this, but it's not been significant at this point, but really good check-ins, we're seeing the productivity. You know, if we don't, we're gonna bring it back, and right now it'll be easier because we have more staff, but when we have less staff, then people weren't working from home at all, hardly at all, somewhere, but not a lot, especially the girls at the front, so we're monitoring it, it's going well. It really comes down to, again, and I think one of the reasons I think it should go in the personnel policy is still, it comes back down to those retention policies, right? We're competing with other municipalities, including the county, who has I don't know if they have a policy or not. I know that, but what I understand is they have they're very open to work from home. A lot of municipalities do, especially since COVID and with a lot of millennials taken over. You know, we want, you know, it works, and as long as the checks and balances are there, I'm comfortable authorizing it as appropriate. But they need to have a work plan. There's good check-ins. I even know when Raman's on a break, like he tells us if he's taking a coffee break, but I'm just using him as an example, because he's very good at communicating while he's on.
just small edit, your two definitions are being used. The definition says employee, and then it starts referring to employees throughout it. So wherever it says employees plural, it should be changed back to employee, because that's what's in your definition.
Okay,
It's just a small
oh, thank you.
editing issue.
Okay,
Mel, do you want to move?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that Town of Smoky Lake adopt personnel policy P-01 2024 for the purpose of providing a clear understanding of the terms of employment with the small edit.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. And we'll move to 9.2, 2024 manufactured homes and accessory dwelling units and amendments.
So this is for second and third reading at council. Would like to follow the public hearing.
Marianne, did you want to start us off?
I'd like to move that the Town of Smoky Lake give second reading to bylaw number 07-2024, being a land use bylaw amendment for manufactured homes and accessory dwelling units.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. Carried.
I'll move that Town of Smoky Lake give third and final reading to bylaw number 07-2024, being a land use bylaw amendment for manufactured homes and accessory dwelling units.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. And we'll move to 9.3, tax rate bylaw number 09-2024. Marianne?
Could I ask one question? So are we not doing third and final reading or?
Yeah, Terry did it.
You don't need permission when you've done.
The unanimous?
You
No,
only
only
need unanimous if you do
Sorry.
all three readings in the same meeting.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Thank
Like
you.
we are on the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions about the tax rate bylaw? Otherwise, we can move with the readings. Not Evelyn, you want to start us off?
That Town of Smoky Lake give first reading to bylaw number 09-2024, being the tax rate bylaw for the purpose of authorizing rates of taxation to be levied against assessable property within the Town of Smoky Lake for the 2024 taxation year.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. Mel?
I'll make a motion that Town of Smoky Lake give second reading to bylaw number 09-2024, being the tax rate bylaw for the purpose of authorizing the rates of taxation to be levied against accessible properties within the Town of Smoky Lake for the 2024 taxation year.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. Marianne?
That the Town of Smoky Lake give permission for third and final reading to bylaw number 09-2024, being the tax rate bylaw for the purpose of authorizing rates for taxation to be levied against accessible property within the Town of Smoky Lake for the 2024 taxation year.
All in favor? Carried unanimously. And Terry? Yeah, Terry.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
That the Town of Smoky Lake give third and final reading to bylaw 09-2024, being a tax rate bylaw for the purpose of authorizing rates of taxation to be levied against accessible property within the Smoky Lake, Town of Smoky Lake for the 2024 taxation year.
All in favor? None opposed, and carried. All right, 11.3, Smoky Lake Agricultural Complex Letter of Support. Marianne?
Yeah, just a question for clarification. Was a letter of support template or something provided or just the request?
Just the request. What we've created, the letter.
Thank you, that's all. So I could make a motion or no, sorry.
Or
circle.
Yeah, Evelyn, you're the next in the circle, I guess.
For 11.3,
Yeah, 11.3.
Which is after the.
Page
103.
102? Three. I'll make the motion that the town of Smoky Lake write a letter of support to the Smoky Lake Agricultural Society for their Community Facility Enhancement Program, CSTEP. Grant application to replace the heating, ventilation, air conditioning, HVAC system in the agricultural complex.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. And 11.1, correspondence to file for information. Maybe I had it.
12.
Oh, 12.1. Same down.
Don't have me go back.
Sorry. Okay, so this is page 106. And so the letters directed to council, was any type of response given to the individual that submitted the letter or?
So which letter was that?
Page 106.
Sorry, let me go to that one. No. If people have called in or asked questions, we've, and we can respond to this if you'd like, we've, I think we spoke with this. I think I've spoken with Lori as well, so that's why I didn't respond. Anyone that's written a letter typically, we've already spoken with, and we're giving a very neutral response, right? Which is facts. We facilitated a meeting, no decisions have been made. I emailed you kind of our standing verbiage kind of thing, so, yeah. She was at breakfast with council, I believe. Yeah.
Evelyn had.
Were you just wondering if there's an acknowledgement of receipt?
Marianne.
If I may, I was looking for maybe a little bit, because she'd taken the time to come to the breakfast with council and had talked about it, and then subsequently or prior to had written the letter. I was just considering some sort of acknowledgement.
I can send.
Or is it time to, would we consider if we get additional letters, would we have some sort of press release or a way to handle any miscommunications?
Terry?
Now that we're discussing this. Because it came addressed to town council, do we have a policy or something in place that addresses stuff like this?
No, typically it would come to council, and then if you wanted us to.
You'll come to the next council meeting?
Yeah, and then, because we can't, sorry, if it was something that a motion was made from council and there was an opinion of council or a decision of council, we could reply and say, council made this motion at this meeting. With this one, no decision has been made. So I wouldn't want to, other than saying, thank you, I passed it on to council, which I should definitely do with all communications so that, you know, I can.
That's
definitely
what
do
I'm
that.
going at,
Yeah, but we
not
can't-
targeting this one.
Yeah, because we can't say anything else because you haven't made any
So,
decisions.
so can we work on something like that so that when a letter comes addressed to council, it gets emailed to us?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And then that way we're informed when you get it on the.
Evelyn?
Yeah.
Are you referring to some of the times when they email us directly and then there's like a?
Well,
Because
that I'm not
because
worried
that's
about.
something that we, because sometimes that's what happens is that three of us get,
And not the
email.
whole council.
and
And
then we
that's-
go, okay, what do we do with this? Is one of us going to answer it? Because that happened recently.
Yeah, so, but that's addressed to us personally.
Yeah.
But something that's addressed to town council, I'm under the understanding that I'd like to know what it is prior to a meeting, and that way a person's ready for it, so when it does come on the agenda like this, we're prepared.
But you are prepared, you get it Thursday.
Do you know how I was so spinning when I tried going through this, that's not enough time for me. But that's all we can do for the meeting, right?
Yeah.
But whatever
So
my
if we get
thoughts are,
something addressed to council, just forward it to all council.
please.
Okay.
So, sorry, may I ask for clarification? So what about if, so if I get one addressed to, I'm copied on one that's addressed to you and Evelyn, do you want me to forward that to all council? Or is it more, if it's a committee thing, just leave it alone?
Well, if it's addressed to us and CC to you, right, is what you're
Yes.
talking about? That's not to Smoke Lake Town Council.
Just to those specific,
To the
that's
whole.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
like,
Yeah, I think we should keep it.
okay, so all
Yeah.
council,
yeah, stuff that comes to administration that's directed to town council, which means all five of us, I would prefer to receive it.
and then I will, you're right, Mary Ann, out of respect, I will also not make sure. She came to breakfast with council after this, but I
Yeah.
could still email her and say, thank you, it's been received and forwarded. to council. So thank you for that.
Mary, Mel?
Yeah, and I did thank her for the letter too, but it is nice since she sent it to the office, that would be, yeah, that would be good. Do you have any more questions?
I'm, so Mary,
Mhm.
okay, so then we go to the next item. I'm not sure that we've ever seen this, so why are we seeing it, or is it directly impacting the town, or is it just for information, or why? The 107.
Crystal?
I'll try to answer that. I'm not sure. I think it's just for information and I'm pretty sure it has come before council, just as information in the past. Is what I guess.
They provided it to us, so then it's communication, so yes. You come.
Anything else? No? Okay, thank you, Mel.
I'll make a motion, to file 12.1 correspondence with information.
All in favor? And opposed, so carried, and we move to our last. 13.1 CN event, last minute additions.
So just, I didn't know if you wanted to consider whether or not to make this a council approved event. And sorry, Nadine also did ask you to make sure that it was brought to your attention today so that everyone knew about it, but we do have it in your calendars as well.
We're in circles, so,
So which one's happening?
I'd like to move, that the town of Smoky Lake accept acknowledgement of receipt of the invitation for the CN station event on Saturday, May 25th, 2024, from 1 to 4 in the afternoon at the Smoky Lake Curling Rink and the Smoky Lake CN station.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. Okay, before we go into close, we probably need a quick minute break or just a couple minutes, or do we want to?
So we have a public hearings that, or not public hearings, sorry, I meant to say delegation. Is that delegation in,
Yes.
not, is that in camera? So we're done, okay.
Well, I
It doesn't
guess
say in camera here.
yeah, get it on the front.
Or
the
under
first thing.
5.2, it says post session due to the law, so
Am I not reading?
section.
It's split it on both pages, that's why.
Yeah. Second page of the agenda. Okay, well, we'll make a motion to go and close and then we can go. Terry, we'll make that motion to go and close.
I'll move that the town of Smoke Lake go into closed session to discuss the following matters pursuant to the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act, FOIP Section 16, disclosure harmful to business interest of a third party at 2:45 p.m. Land proposal, land sale.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried.
Really stupid.
Right, I'll get a motion to my camera. Ready?
I'll move some other closed session.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. And I will get Terry.
I'll move that the town of Smoky Lake proceed with the disposal of property legally recognized as plan number 1821 HW Block 8 Lot 14 to Dan McMillan / Northern Timber Structures for a purchase price of $16,500 with the conditions outlined in the sales agreement.
All in favor? None opposed and carried, no?
Make a motion for 14.2, the town of Smoky Lake negotiate with Josh Drama for the disposal of property legally recognized as plan number 237. Block B, lot 1.
Yeah, it's a legal.
I didn't even.
All in favor? None opposed and carried, and the meeting is adjourned at 3:54.
Just NY in there, I know.
Yeah.
I have it in my calendar, in your calendar, but I'm away